You're listening to Tech Talks, a podcast by the Technology Education Collaborative. TEC is an Arizona nonprofit that supports the secure, thoughtful use of technology by empowering people with information about the technology they use each and every day. Today, we're sitting down with Eric Miller, the co-owner of the Tempe-based PADT, which provides tools and services for physical product manufacturing and design. He's a regular contributing columnist to the Phoenix Business Journal and an emeritus executive member and former chair of the Arizona Tech Council. Eric, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's so fun.
So the way this works is we sit down with a technologist and we ask everybody the same 5 questions. So the first one's an easy one. What is your title position?
So I am co-owner and principal of Phoenix Analysis and Design Technologies. And my role there is basically to be one of the 3 owners. We started the company 30 years ago together, who reports to me in the organization. So we split up the responsibilities of running the company equally. I have human resources, information technology, facilities, and then the internal consulting group. So the group that does engineering as a service to other people. And I basically run all those different groups and successfully, hopefully, have hired managers for each one to do most of the work for me.
So what does that look like on a daily basis? What's a day in the life like?
Day in the life is really, because it's a leadership role, it really is being there to help provide direction and support and to answer questions and make decisions. Now, that's most of what I do, but because I am who I am, I also do a lot of actual technical work. So I do a lot of our marketing content. I do a little bit of engineering now and then. I help with IT. So I do get my toes wet a little bit doing some work every once in a while to keep my brain going. So it's kind of a mix of that. Meetings, which is a lot easier virtually, do probably 2 or 3 of those a day. And the one thing I didn't realize when we started the company is this role is really about listening. It's a huge amount about listening. And then every once in a while, you got to make a decision.
What is your least favorite thing about your jobs? Because we all have things we have to do that do not light us up.
I think the least favorite thing is I hate conflict with a passion, right? And hate's probably not the right word. I avoid it, almost like a phobia, right? So that dealing with conflict, it's not fair to my employees and our customers. By not addressing it quickly, it can usually get worse. So I've really been working hard on making sure that I kind of suck it up and deal with it. But that's the thing I just dislike the most. Any kind of conflict, whether it's what brand of toilet paper to buy, or if there's a fight over that, which there has been, or an employee that's maybe not a good fit, or a customer that's unhappy, right?
What is your favorite thing about your job? And I might sneak in a sub-question here that we don't normally ask, because your background is as a technologist.
I am a mechanical engineer, yes.
And I'm wondering if you've had to move away from that.
Yeah. So my favorite thing is the engineering. So the best part of our company, and I'm not the only one, when we ask our employees what's your favorite thing about the company, they almost all say the same thing. It's the variety of problems we get to work on. So we help people who design and build physical products. So everything from, say, this microphone to rocket engines to dog toys, right? Everything in between, medical devices, semiconductor equipment, you name it. It is so much fun to get exposure to all these different things, right? So customers will come in with a new idea, or it may be a big company, it may be an inventor, somebody in between, and we get to help them figure out what their problem really is and then what a solution is. And that could be we sell them hardware or we sell them software, or my team can come in and do consulting to help to solve the problem. And so just being able to work on those different things, just sit in the meetings and learn from these people who are experts in their field and then help them solve their problems. That is by far and away the best part. And yeah, so I'm a mechanical engineer, decided to do that in college, loved it, really, really liked it, did it in a corporate role for 9 years before we started the company 30 years ago. And I still love it. I love technology. I'm kind of a weird mix on a tech side. And then, yes, I'm a mechanical engineer specializing in design, but I love writing software too. So kind of my specialty before I got my lobotomy for management was to write software to make engineering more efficient. So my area that I spent most of my career in and still do is what we call simulation, which is building computer models of physical behavior. And so my kind of specialty was writing software to make that software more efficient and more effective. And I still get to write a little bit of code every once in a while. I sling some Python now and then. And I still know Fortran, which most people don't even know what that is. So every once in a while, it's like, does anybody know how? Oh, yeah, Eric knows this. So I can dust off my Fortran book and figure it out. So yeah, and to be honest, we joke about it, but there's a lot of fortune still in engineering. So.
What's your favorite project that you've ever done?
My favorite project was, we weren't heavily involved in it, but just being peripherally involved was super cool. There's a company down in Tucson called Syncardia, and they make a total artificial heart. So if you have heart failure and you can't get a transplant fast enough, they completely remove your heart right before it dies, and they stick this thing inside. And it pumps like a normal heart. So it's a little bit different. There's assist devices that have like more mechanical pumps, but this uses a membrane to pump like the way your heart works is it squeezes the blood, right? And so this kind of works like that. It kind of squeezes the blood. So it's more natural flow. It flows through your body like heart flows. And we're doing very minor stuff for them, helping with some materials, doing some testing, answering a few questions. But we work on some life-saving stuff every once in a while. But this one, it's pretty groundbreaking and significant. I mean, these are people that have lived on this artificial heart for 4 or 5 years now, waiting for their transplant. Yeah, and it's really, really cool to see. And one of the projects we worked on was the original device was quite large. It was designed actually by a dentist. So he had the right idea. He didn't know how to design medical equipment. And so one of the projects that we helped them with is they shrunk it down to a backpack. And we did some testing on that backpack. And so to see people to be able to leave the hospital and carry this backpack with them or on rollers and go see their kids play or go outside and go for a walk with their wife or something like that. I mean, that's like tear-jerking, amazing stuff. So that's still over many years has been my favorite. I mean, in some ways, my favorite project's the last one we did. But yeah, that definitely is up there. The other thing that's getting me really excited is commercial space is really, pun intended, taking off. We get to do, again, small stuff in that space, but it's really cool to work with people that are figuring out how to land on the moon, right? So we did a little bit of work on a lunar lander for somebody. It's not the most exciting thing. We simulated the brackets that hold the piping, and we work on the brackets. And so when that device lands in a couple of years, we'll know that those brackets we looked at.
What is the one practical thing that you would want someone who's considering getting into kind of your industry or field to do or to know? Like, what is a practical measure they could, step they could take? Or
set aside time to learn new tools and skills. Engineering in one way hasn't changed since, they started building engines, right? That's what the name comes from. In that it's plan something, build it, figure out it's broken, fix it, make it better, right? But the tools we use to go through that process are much better and keep getting better and better. One thing that can make your job enjoyable and make you more valuable to your employers or to your customers if you're a solo is really knowing the latest tools and and knowing them really well. Not just knowing them, but knowing them really well so you can get stuff done quick and not focus on the tool. But if you get good enough at a tool, you don't have to focus on the tool. You can focus on solving the problem. And that's actually one of the core philosophies of our company as well, is to know your tools inside and out. It doesn't have to have the best tool. You don't have to have the newest tool. It's better if you do, but you don't have to. If you know it really, really well, when somebody comes to you with a problem, it's like, boom, I'm done, right? And where other people may take a couple weeks because I didn't really know how to do it and I had to figure it out and I had to call support. So yeah, that's definitely for any technical, not just mechanical engineering, but any technical thing is learn those tools really, really well and you become an expert.
My next question is, do you have any passion projects you're working on, or are you involved in any community organizations you'd like to mention, or any kind of personal non-work or possibly overlapping, because I know that can be the case, interests that you want to share?
The primary organization that I'm involved with is the Arizona Technology Council. I just finished up as chairman of the board for 4 years, and now I'm emeritus, which I did have to look up what that meant. It's a great organization. So if you're involved in technology or what you do supports technology, right? Well, a lot of our members are on the creative side of things or the lawyering side or service provider side. But it's 700 companies that do tech in Arizona. I've made friends there. I've gotten business there. I've, learned a ton. So some people go, how do you know so much about, digital marketing? Well, I went to 2 seminars that the Tech Council put on, and then I sat down with the expert that they had and explained everything to me. And that's how I learned it, right? And so it's a fantastic organization. The second one is one that often gets confused with the Tech Council. It's the Arizona Commerce Authority. So they do a lot of things. The group I'm involved with supports startups in our community. So what they do is support companies, startup companies, by a little bit of funding, but mostly making introductions, providing resources, providing training. Right now, I'm a subject matter expert, but I'm also an entrepreneur in residence there. So they pair us up with these companies, then maybe 20 going through the program at a time, sometimes more, sometimes less. And then we just get together, a group of experts get together and kind of help them get where they need to go. And they help each other as well. Huge fan of that program. It was just fortunately reauthorized by the legislature. And they do a lot of other things as well, like bringing other companies into the state, helping support the people that support startups. It's a really great organization full of great people, both on the volunteer side and who work there. Yeah, those are the two big organizations. I think another one I'll put a plug in for, if you're interested in green technology, is something called the Clean Tech Open. And I'm a mentor for them as well. And they're an international startup competition mentoring program, and I mentor for them and judge for them. And the idea there is to kind of help companies that are focused on sustainability technology to kind of get over some of the humps that they have to deal with, software, hardware, everything. Love that. Keep meeting great companies through that organization. We support a lot of school robotics programs and do work with STEM as well. That's probably where most of our charity work goes, is in the STEM area. My passion, two. One, not so surprising, I love to cook. And so I do a lot of cooking, I bake, and I really enjoy that. It's kind of my therapy. And then the other one is I've always wanted to be a writer. And I do write nonfiction. Right? I do write for the Business Journal, and I've written for our own company, and I ghostwrite as a freelancer for other companies, right? Writing content for other companies. And, I do that just to kind of sharpen my skills. But what I really want to be is a fiction writer, right? And it's really hard. It's the rest of it's really natural for me, but the fiction part, it's really difficult. And I'm learning, right? So I'm just finishing up. I'm going to get my certificate from the University of California, Berkeley extension program in a couple months. And I will no longer have an excuse. I've been educated, and I got to sit down and write and figure this out, because a lot of things come easy to me. This has not come easy to me. I get to really force myself to do it.
Well, those are all the questions we have for you today. Thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it. Feel free to come back anytime.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was really enjoyable. I love the lab.
This episode was recorded at the Advanced Cyber Systems Lab at Gateway Community College at the Washington campus. The ASCL is a tech hub open to the general public where you can use a 3D printer, record a podcast, practice advanced tech skills on one of our servers, and more, all free of charge. If you don't know how to do any of that, but you'd like to learn, there's plenty of people here who will teach you. So come on by and stop into the ACSL.